The part that I really don't like, and the part that's feeling very sort of like communist China to me, is like the forced apologies. That's the scary part to me.
I see that as, you know, I still describe myself as liberal, but I see this as like the real sort of almost unsolvable problem of liberalism. That liberals always want to be open and decent and understanding and all of that. But then when a movement that is so totalitarian and crazed and wants to progress no matter what it's progressing to, liberals don't seem to have a good defense against that, where conservatives seem to actually have it better.
Well, I feel like I've never felt it practical to pick a team and then pick all that is that team. And so I'll answer it in a roundabout way. I love cars. I have a bunch of race cars. I drive a bunch of race cars. I have a lot of different cars, like, because I love cars. And, you know, sometimes I'll talk to guys and I'll go, you're a car guy? I'm a car guy. Like, you love cars? I love cars. And then I go, what kind of cars do you like? And they go, I'm a Mopar guy. Everything I got's a Dodge. Everything's got a Hemi in it. And I'm like, well, you're a car guy, but you just have this one car. It's kind of like going, I love the ladies, but only Puerto Rican. It's like why not hop on a blonde and a black chick and a redhead? Like, if you really love women, what's wrong with all of, you know, all of them, you know? Like, that's my thing. It's like, if you really love women, go out with a whole bunch of different women. And I feel...
Now I finally believe that you're not racist. There you go. You're willing to bang every type of woman. That's when you're a good man.
Every type of woman. Yeah. And I sort of treat my world politically kind of like I'm just pushing a cart through a Trader Joe's. Like, I'm not really into the Nilla cookies over there, but I do like that jerky, you know. And at some point, the cart will start to take shape, I guess, and you'll go, oh, this guy likes his meat, or he likes his protein, or this person likes their carbohydrates or whatever. And so for me, it's like conservative. Well, I'm not religious. I'm basically an atheist. And I'm not a gun person, but I'm not anti-gun. I'm sort of pragmatic gun. I've sort of realized, like, when you read op-eds in the Los Angeles Times about should we arm the teachers? What difference would it make if one of those teachers at Columbine had a gun? What difference? And then they go, 3 kids dead, 8 kids dead, 15. What's the difference? I'm like, what's the difference? The difference is 3 versus 15, imbecile. Like, I think it'd make a pretty big difference to the 4th kid who would have died if the teacher wasn't armed. So it's like, I'm not buying into this cockamamie doctrine of what difference would it make. But my thing is, like, I'm not religious, and I don't have real strong, like, sort of conservative, whatever, upbringing or values. But I do understand that intact families and a focus on education and having a patriotic, the patriotic part, just sort of loving your country, not to the point where, you know, you cover yourself in the American flag and driving a pickup truck, but I mean, like, appreciating your country, like going, oh, okay, we've made mistakes, but you know what? Is there anywhere else you'd rather live? You know, like, that leads to a sort of happiness. And pot legal, gay marriage legal, whatever else, do your own thing. I'm very interested in, if I'm not hurting you, I should be able to do what I want to do. And if you're, but the problem with the left is saying, let us tell you what to do. And if you say something that we have not vetted or approved, we shall remove you from your job. And that kind of McCarthyism of no one can work because you had a transgression from 11 years ago in a yearbook or whatever it is, I don't like. And the part that I really don't like, and the part that's feeling very sort of like communist China to me, is like the forced apologies. That's the scary part to me. Like the announcer that is talking about the Baltimore Ravens quarterback, and it's like, well, his skin tone is dark, the ball is dark, the jersey's dark, he has an advantage. And then at some point he has to go, I regret saying and realize that my hurtful terms. It's like, you don't regret it. These weren't hurtful terms. We want you to analyze football, and you've actually brought up a point I've never thought of, which is it takes a millisecond for the outside linebacker who's coming around the corner. You're trying to get him to bite on this play fake. You're trying. And just as if I was an African-American boxer and I had brown gloves and I kept them close to my chest and you had red gloves, I'd have a little advantage. I could see the red gloves coming a millisecond off of versus the brown gloves off of the brown skin color. And this guy was basically making the point that the defensive end, and then he went on to say how great the quarterback was. So he's making a point. It's an interesting point, and he's right. The guy does a great job of staying with it. The ball's hard to spot. The outside linebacker bites on it, and he goes around him for a touchdown, and he has to pretend to apologize because he's going to get fired. And when I hear, to me, the heartbreaking part of the whole thing is the apology.
Yeah.
The outrage culture and all that, it's the person with the prepared statement begging for you not to relieve them of their job. That's the part that feels like Twilight Zone, wish you out to the cornfield, like, hey, it's a good thing. It's a real good thing, boy. It's a good thing you did. Like, everyone's scared to get wished out into the cornfield, and now they're having to apologize.
And there's so many crazy examples of that. Remember when Mark Duplass, who's a Hollywood producer and actor, who's been on my show, I mean, we're friendly, and he sent out that tweet that he basically said Ben Shapiro's not the devil, and then he had to apologize. Like, it's like, he didn't endorse the guy, he didn't say he agreed with him. It was in effect like he's not a horrible person. And then, and mob
that
comes.
Is so, it's like Orwellian, but it's also McCarthyism.
Yeah.
It's like, look, I know the Duplass brothers, they're good guys.
Yeah,
They want to
he's
work.
Totally good guy.
They want to work. They live. Now, the only way to stomp this out is for everyone to tell everyone to fuck off and not do it. But Mark Duplass does shows with HBO. They're very woke. This may not hurt him, but are you taking that chance? I mean, you got a production company, wife and kids, employees, you got a business, you know what I mean? And what he's doing is he's going, me saying Ben Shapiro's a good guy, even if I preface it with, you may not agree with it politically,
there's a whole,
or whatever, and then getting a bunch of blowback, maybe HBO does something about that.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't. I have 25 employees. Do I want to take that chance? I don't want to take that chance. So I'm just going to issue this cowardly statement, basically distancing myself from a guy who helped me out. I mean, it's completely disingenuous. It's cowardly. But hey, I got a job. I got to keep my job. Like, this is what's great. So now you and I don't have that, or maybe it's not helping you or I. I don't know. I don't care. But if you want to work for HBO, you want to sell product to HBO, you better be careful what you say, who you associate with, and who you do business with, or who you praise.
All right, so last thing, so we can wrap up with the movie.
Oh, yeah.
You talked about that Prager guy before. There's a sort of fun moment in the movie where you talk about how different you guys are. Like, you just, everything about you, you just said you're basically an atheist, you know, he's a at least somewhat religious Jew, your upbringings are completely different, everything about you guys is completely different, yet you guys came together on this thing, and you were touring in colleges before this and all that. Can you just talk about that a little bit?
Well, you know, I think we do a thing which is...
You see how I brought it around so that you could promote the movie?
I do love that.
Wasn't that professional?
No,
That's an
safe
interviewer.
spaces
That was
in theaters as we speak,
yeah.
.com. You can also go to Chassis, CHASSY.com, and see all these motor racing docs I've made if you like that. I don't like this world. I was just talking about this yesterday, where it's like we need diversity, and people of color and the fire department should represent the community that it serves, and it's all that. And it's like, well, so what? Your skin color is the same color. Like, what really is that? You're the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Dennis and I have common sense. He has buckets of common sense. I'm very rooted in common sense. We have nothing in common, but we do have common sense, and that trumps everything.
If you're looking for more honest and thoughtful conversations about comedy instead of the nonstop yelling you get everywhere else, check out our comedy playlist. And if you want to watch full interviews on a variety of topics, check out our full episode playlist. They're both right over here. And to get notified of all future videos, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell.